This world is ruled by emotions. People can give birth to corresponding emotion monsters based on the emotions they possess. And the emotion I possess is called rationality. Rationality can suppress all other emotions. It is the most special emotion. But I was suppressed by a glasses man. He merely said one sentence. I command your heart to stop beating. The next second, my heart stopped beating, then collapsed next to my enemy. After recovering for a moment, I managed to stand up again. Turns out the emotion glasses man controls is arrogance. He can directly issue commands to infect people. The woman with the rationality emotion told me, if I weren't an emotion entity of rationality, which has resistance to all emotions, I would be dead by now. Moreover, glasses man's emotion entity level is 2 major tiers higher than mine. So I'm even less capable of defying his commands. He is an enemy I absolutely cannot defeat right now. However, what puzzles me is, why can't I see his emotion monster? The woman told me, his emotion monster should be staying deep in the heart realm right now. And the heart realm can be understood as the main living place for emotion monsters. When an emotion monster is at the boundary between the heart realm and reality, it becomes visible. But once an emotion monster hides deep in the heart realm, it becomes difficult to observe. At this moment, Lu Jia commanded, you help me restrain this kid. I'll teach him a good lesson. Glasses man responded, and immediately spoke. I order you to kneel. The next second, my body actually knelt down uncontrollably. I was shocked that I couldn't resist at all. Rationality woman explained. This is a characteristic of the pride emotion entity's commands. The lower the harm the command does to yourself, the harder it is for you to disobey. The greater the level gap between the pride emotion entity and you, the harder it is for you to disobey too. At this moment Lu Jia walked over, then slapped me hard across the face. She wore the smug look of a petty villain. Aren't you supposed to be tough? How come you can't even stand up now? Your mom's just a commoner. We emotional beings can treat her however we want. To repay you for what you just did, let me tell you how your mom died on her transformation day. I remember it clearly. On her transformation day your mom was rarely sober, not controlled by emotions. That day, she bought groceries and cooked a meal, wanting to apologize for losing her temper at you recently. She specially made your favorite dish, tomato stew with beef brisket. What a pity. In the end blood splattered all over the ground, even on the ceiling, and the beef brisket got burnt. And your mom became a target, just because of that lord's casual remark. How about picking a prey? I'll choose the single mom next door then. At first I was strongly against it. After all, your mom is a very good person. Back when I was poor, your mom even helped me by bringing me food. But later as your mom started throwing tantrums, watching you fall from happiness into the abyss, I gradually started to enjoy this feeling. Lu Jia laughed maniacally and sickly. Ha 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 ha. That feeling of dominating someone else's life, of someone else's happiness. If I want her to turn into an emotion monster, she must turn into an emotion monster. If I want her to become food, she must become food. When he said this, I had already stood up. Just as I was about to kill this scum, Glasses Man spoke again. I order you to stop moving. But in a second my body stopped moving. Glasses Man said again, I order you to kneel and kowtow. The next second, my body uncontrollably knelt down and bowed my head to the ground. My head pressed tightly against the ground, unable to lift it no matter what. Then Lu Jia looked at me. I'll give you a chance. Become my dog. Bark twice. I'll spare your dog life. My head still remained pressed against the ground. Didn't answer, nor had any emotional fluctuations. And at this time they still hadn't noticed there was a woman beside me. She asked beside me, what's the plan now? I instead asked back, shouldn't I be the one asking you that? You made me become an emotion monster, and know so much about me, even know about the background and origin of Lu Jia's ship. You must have foreseen this situation already. Tell me your conditions. I'll accept them all. At this moment Lu Jia impatiently stepped on my head with his foot. Scream. I'll spare your life if you scream. At this moment, Rationality Woman's lips curved into a beautiful arc. Then she hugged my entire body. As long as you're willing to accept my power, it'll be fine. The next second, a terrifying energy erupted from within my body. But this energy was simply too immense. My eyes instantly underwent a mutation. Lu Jia panicked. What is this? Glasses Man answered gravely. has gone out of control. At the same time, my consciousness fell into a space. It was incredibly vast here, like the boundless universe. I muttered to myself, where is this? I can't feel any emotions at all. As if everything is only calculation. Just then, fragments of memories kept flooding into my mind. Me playing games with my mom, drawing with mom, coming home from shopping with mom, and the scene of father's death, followed by mom's inexplicable anger and rage, and her apologies and remorse toward me after the outburst, until she was ultimately killed by the anger. Finally, Lu Jia's detestable face. The next moment, my lens shattered. My pupils also turned golden. I looked at my own hands, unaware of what had just happened. At this moment, Rationality Woman said, "Good. Your sack had stored enough anger beforehand. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to maintain yourself within my power. Remember this. You must abandon rationality at critical moments. Only then can you harness the power of rationality. Otherwise, you'll lose control and become the rational emotion monster. Next, enjoy your revenge." The next moment, the crystals around my eyes shattered one after another. The originally surging emotional power also abruptly vanished at this moment. Seeing this, Lu Jia mocked. "Haha, what the hell?" Suddenly the emotional power vanished. I thought it was supposed to be so powerful, but Glasses Man remained vigilant. She exclaimed in terror. "No, it's not that the emotional power vanished, but rather its level has surpassed our ability to perceive." Just then my had already blanketed the entire sky. That world-class cruise ship capable of holding 10,000 people seemed like a tiny boat in the face. At the same time, in the bar on the cruise ship, a man suddenly fell to the floor. He looked up at the sky in terror. What kind of power is this? In the ship's restaurant, a man accidentally cut through both the steak and the plate. His face showed fear. As a world-class emotional entity, such a big shot is on a killing spree here. Is he trying to declare war on the entire corporation behind the Sea Emperor? Then Captain Lu Yong and everyone in the VIP room noticed Anna saying, "It's actually world-class power." Victor also spoke up. "Strange. Are there any other world-class ones on the ship today? Are they coming for us?" Song Hui looked serious. Could it be an accomplice of the person who beat up Lu Jia? Maybe they're coming for that great one. Captain Lu Yong looks out the window. Everyone need not worry. No matter who comes. No matter what scheme they have. But if they dare offend our Sea Emperor, even a world-class will die. The scene shifts back. Lu Jia is incredulous. "What are you saying? We can no longer perceive his level. How is that possible?" At this moment, Glasses Man is so scared his teeth are chattering. "I also think it's impossible. But this is the truth. You can't perceive it. But I can vaguely see it. It's at the highest place. A pressure like disaster. The same majesty as those great figures. A pressure that belongs to the world-class." Glasses Man exclaimed, "Let's go." But it was too late. I instantly appeared behind them, and my two hands were each gripping a head. Then I tossed the two heads onto the ground like trash. It was actually this easy. Rationality Woman looked at me, twisting someone's head off right from the start. "Don't you think that's not quite right? It really wasn't done well enough. I should have killed him slowly." Rationality Woman laughed. "Very good. It takes this kind of extremity to control my rationality. But don't rush. The real show is just beginning now." The next second, golden veins appeared beneath my feet. The veins continuously extended forward, until they covered the entire ship's hull. I looked up. A golden giant seated on a throne appeared. I stared blankly at this scene. At this moment Rationality Woman said, "Don't you think it's strange? You fought with that Xiao Zhagu on the ship. But the ship wasn't damaged in the slightest. Because this ship is also an emotional entity. This is the true face of this ship. In the world of emotional power, how much you can see depends on your strength. Only then can you barely glimpse the true form of the world by borrowing my power. This is the true power aboard the Sea Emperor." Captain Lu Yong hovered beside the golden giant. She looked down from above and said, "So you're that world-class who doesn't know life from death. Then prepare to die." He began to chant an incantation. "Within the cosmos, between heaven and earth, any offense shall be punished. All things rise and fall. All obey commands. Any transgression shall pay in blood." I was puzzled. His emotion monster was actually chanting simultaneously with him. Could he enhance the power of commands through chanting? "By my imperial decree, The space around the intruders solidifies. The next second, both I and my emotional entity were frozen by a massive golden cube. I used the golden sword to execute punishment. By my imperial decree, all emotional power within the sword's range is halved. Countless golden swords pierce into the golden cube, making the cube as prickly as a hedgehog. Lu Yang snorted coldly. Overestimating yourself. Anna said, It's over so quickly. This world class is quite inexperienced. Victor chimed in. Indeed, to actually let the opponent successfully issue a long command. The captain just needs to continue giving commands. Capturing him alive is only a matter of time. Just at that moment, a crack suddenly appeared on the golden cube. The two looked over in surprise. Captain Lu Yang also had an incredulous look on her face. The next second, my rational emotional entity swung its sword and shattered the condensed space. My eyes were cold and sharp. I raised my hand upward. The rational emotional entity also raised the sword in its hand. I swung my hand downward. The rational emotional entity then thrust 4 swords toward the Imperial. The captain's expression was one of shock. The next second, the entire ship's protective shield was broken open by this strike.